Alright gang, welcome back to our Luxury Tax Challenge here on Mecklenburg, the Lake District. It is July and it is rainy, so it fits the the bill of being the Lake District here. And we're going to go ahead and buy some more fertilizer so we can put that down on our grass field. As you can see, we've got an absolute ton of money. The reason why we have a ton of money is mostly because of those greenhouses. They are producing us so much money. It's great, man. It's a good thing, man. This is exactly what we're looking for, right? It's going to help us be able to continue to expand, which we 100% want to do. Now, other than doing this field here today, we have very little to do. And when I say we have very little to do, we have absolutely nothing to do but this field. So, my hope is there will be some contracts out there for us that we could potentially do today. I don't know if there will be. I'm hopeful that there is. Maybe we can get one of those contracts done, and maybe, just maybe, with that contract, we'll be able to purchase another field. Is it going to be a large field? Likely not. We've only got $131,000 right now. Now, granted, hopefully a couple of hours will surpass during this time period. Why did the fertilizer turn off? What the hell just happened there? Maybe it's perfect down here? It is perfect down here. Okay. That's why. Alright. So it's good. We're just spraying in certain areas now, which is much better anyway, right? It's only going to hit the areas that absolutely needs the fertilizer. Now, my hope is, well, there's two contracts out there there's one for cultivating and one for stone picking. The cultivating one is a large contract, likely what we're going to have to do unless something else pops up out there. But really, I mean, as much as I want to buy one of these fields, we're not going to have enough money. They're way too expensive, right? So we probably need to be looking somewhere around down in here, 170,000-ish. Like, that's a little bit more reasonable. Now, it is another grass field. I'm not positive if I would keep it as a grass field or not. There's a high chance that I might change that and do something different. I guess we'll see. Oop. So we'll see how it goes. But, yeah, that's kind of where I'm leaning towards today. We talked about that in the last episode, right? That, you know, really, there's the option for us to start paying off the loan a little bit more, but really what we would prefer to do is buy another plot of land, because that's going to make us more money in the long run, right? And then just kind of pay the loan off whenever we have the time after that. So that's my focus, really. Is if we can get another plot of land today, I would be very, very happy. And we would just be in much better shape overall, right? So that's my goal. How's everyone doing today? I hope you're all doing well. Things are good. All things considered, man. They're good. We are almost done with this field, I think. There's a little bit of grass I missed there. Actually, a decent amount of grass I missed there, it looks like. Okay. I don't think there's going to be much else for us to hit here as far as fertilizer goes, so bear with me for a minute while I look at it from a weird angle here. It's just easier for me to see. Now, granted, I could go into here and figure it out pretty quickly. I probably should have had this on. I'm just so used to not having it on. It looks pretty good to me. Yeah, I think we're done here, gang. I think we're done. That was a very, very quick job. That was faster than I actually expected it to be. We're done. So we'll bring this back. And, yeah, we're going to have to kind of take a look at that contract and see if it makes sense. We do have a cultivator, which means we could save a little bit of money. However, lately, when I've been looking at all the contracts, they really haven't been like a severe difference in price if you borrow their equipment. So I'm more willing to borrow their equipment most of the time, right? So let's look at this. Okay, we've got a couple more things out here as well now, which is great. We've got a plowing, a cultivating, the mowing, and a stone picking. The mowing one, we've done that. It's a very small one. It's not worth a ton of money. This one, it is one of the tractors that I am terrible with. It's an articulate tractor. $400 to lease it is like nothing. I'm wondering if I could. I don't think I've ever tried this. I wonder if I could lease it, but then use my tractor. I don't know if that's possible. Probably isn't. It's this field right here. It's a large field. We've done that field before, though. I think we did it with fertilizer spreading, or maybe it was a spraying. I don't remember. We have done that field before. Let me see if I can figure out how big that cultivator was. It was quite large. This one? 6 meters? That's pretty much the same size we have. That's kind of what I'm looking at. No, it was not that one. It was this one. 14.3 meters. That is a serious width. All right, we're going to borrow it, and I'm going to see if I can utilize our tractor or not. If I can't, then I just wasted time going up there. But we do need gas for the tractor anyway, so it's not really that big of a waste. So let's borrow it. That's going to make us big money, man. That's a huge contract. A massive, massive contract. 23 grand. I don't think that's actually going to get us to where we need to be, though. I thought that was going to be enough, but I don't think it is. This is 170. It's not going to be enough. We're going to be 10,000, a little less than that short. But maybe as we move along here, because we'll go through another hour, maybe some more selling of the the hydroponic greenhouses. Maybe we'll get a little bit of extra money here over the next couple of hours while we're doing this. In-game hours, I should say. Yeah, let's just see how we get on. And I'm going to test it out and see if it'll let me utilize this tractor or not. This tractor may not have enough horsepower, honestly. Now that we said that. Now that I've said that, I bet it doesn't. 400. Yeah, this does not have 400 horsepower. So I guess I'm going to use the articulate tractor. We have one in our Vintage Survival series on Spaz Kovo. We bought one. I don't utilize it as often as I may like, but and it's mostly because I'm very, very bad with articulate tractors. I just am. I'm getting better at them. And that's the reason why I bought one for that series, is I want to continue to try to utilize it and get better. I'm just going to take a shortcut. They won't yell at me. I'm going to be cultivating this field up anyway. So I want to get better. I just I'm not there yet. Let's put it that way. I'm just not there yet. So some more work to be done for sure. I'm still tempted to try this. The rain has subsided, which is nice. I'm gonna see how this goes. It's probably gonna be way too heavy, and I'm gonna be going way too slow. But we're going to try it. We're gonna try it. This thing is a behemoth. Look how big this thing is. It's huge. This thing is gigantic. All right, so I am able to utilize my own tractor. However, as you can clearly tell, this is a very, very, very slow process. So, I have to fold this thing all the way up and attach it. Okay. Another versatile, though. I gotta get better at these at some point, man. It's a struggle. So let's see if we can get better at it doing this contract, right? And it could be that my tires are still skinny tires. Remember, we kind of modified the tires here for skinny tires so we could actually do our second application on our oat field, right? So it could be part of that too. Before I forget, because I probably will, I'm going to go ahead and fill this thing up with some gas right here while we're here. The last time we were up here, I forgot, so I don't want to forget again, right? Okay. $285 for fuel. Fuel is not expensive at all in this game. Well, it just doesn't feel like it's expensive, I guess I should say. Well, there we go. We already started off well. Can't even back it up properly. Now, it's not bad once you get going in a straight line and stuff, but when you try to do turns, man, and you're trying to back up and things like that, that's when it gets a little dicey. Why is the camera shaking so much? I don't know why the camera is shaking so much. Nope, 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 nope. It's already going off tangent. Alright, here we go. We're finally in the groove here, hopefully. Okay, so this is a massive, 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 massive field, and we are evidently having issues pulling it with this. We're not going any faster than I was going in the Versatile. Okay, there we go. Now we're going 7. I was just trying to shift through the gears, I guess. Maybe I need to put it on manual shifting. I normally have it on auto just because it's easier, but, you know, maybe I need to put it on manual. It is a bit of a hill we're going up. It's not a huge hill, but with this big, massive thing and pulling dirt up out of the ground, although it's cultivating, right? So it's not like a plow, not pulling up that much. Yeah, we're cruising now. I think it was just that little hill that was trying to get started with the gears there. So let's get to work here. I don't know how far we'll get into this, but let's see how far we get in this time lapse, and then we'll be back with you and see what we have left to do. We're only like a 1.5 ways around the headland passes here, so this is going to take a while. So sit back, relax, get your popcorn. It's going to be a bit. I didn't realize it was going to take this long with the size of this thing, but it certainly is. So not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's going to be a longer time lapse. I did do a little bit of a break, I guess, here talking to you about it for a second, but nonetheless, it is going to be a long one, so sit back, relax, and we will continue on here and get the rest of this done. And we did hit 9 o'clock. We did jump up a little bit, not anything crazy though, and that's probably just because there wasn't that much to sell. It's not like it's a full month where you have all night and everything else, right? So we'll keep on going here. We'll keep on stabbing at this. We'll see where we get to money-wise, and we'll make some decisions on what we're going to do afterwards. We may even hit 10 o'clock before we're done with this contract here. well, that contract's all done, and unfortunately, we are still nowhere near the amount we need to buy another plot of land. And we also have to factor in, if we do buy a plot of land, we also have to put that amount of money, well, 10% of that amount of money, into the park as well. There are some other contracts that have popped up out here, though, which I'm thinking we're going to do this spraying one really quick, because it's right around the corner, and it's another 10 grand, which would get us a lot closer to where we need to be at. So first of all, let's go ahead and turn this one in. So that gets us to 162,685. We need 170. So, well, we need a lot more than what we're doing here. We need probably another 25,000 to be comfortable, right? I think. So that one contract's, I mean, it'll get us closer, but it's not really going to get us where we need to be at, right? Another massive cultivating contract, 2 smaller fertilizing contracts. I think we could do those as well. Well, we're up here. Let's go ahead and do the spraying contract. At least give us some more money. Even if we don't get anything done today, at least we're going to be closer for the next episode, right? So let's go ahead and get this one. And we'll borrow the items. And there it is. It's spawned up here. Now, the problem is I think we have... actually, I'll just go to here and do it this way. I think we have some herbicide over here, do we not? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what those are right over there on that side. Is it enough to do that field? I would think probably not. But I guess the bonus thing, well, the nice thing about this kind of contract is it's so close to the shop that we'll probably be fine. Actually, we might have enough there. I don't know. Either way, we need to head back to the farm. I'm going to utilize that. I don't necessarily want to buy any more herbicide if I don't have to. I'd rather just utilize that since we have so much left over. Let's get in this thing and check this thing out, man. This thing is pretty nice. It's got 44.9 hours on it. But it's still in really good shape, honestly. Yeah, this thing's really cool. I like this thing a lot. I would love to have one. But, you know, that's a while away from now, as we've mentioned, right? We could spend the money on buying equipment, or we could just try to get in ourselves another field, which is in the long run going to make us more money. So that's the approach we're going with for the time being. I will head back to the farm and pick up that herbicide that you just saw, and I will meet you over at the field. Okay, evidently I was not recording when I just did this contract. Whoops. Well, contract's done, I guess is how I'll put it. And, yeah, was not recording, evidently. Whoops. Okay, well, let's turn it in, I guess. A little sketchy there, gang. Apologize, but that was not really my intent. Okay, we're at $175,207 now. It can be done. We can buy this. It gives us $5,207, which really is not really what we need, right? We need more than that. So the options we have are, well, 1, we do another contract, or 2, we just hold on to the money for the time being and maybe do it in the next episode as far as buying the field, I mean. I don't know. I kind of want to do it today, but... I think we have to hold off. Gang. I just don't think it's worth it right now. Used to market, not really a whole lot for us. There's this, which we kind of talked about in the last episode. It's still out there. I don't think I'm going to get it. We already have this with the extension on it, so again, not really something for us. So the other thing we can do is we can look at some more things to purchase as far as equipment goes, or we can pay off some more of the loan. Now, granted, if I pay off more of the loan, obviously we're not going to have, as much money when the next episode comes, but I suspect, and I was not even a suspect, I know we will make a lot more overnight, just like we did from the last episode to today's episode, because of the greenhouses and stuff, right? And yeah, they're still in relatively good shape. They could use a little bit of water, but they're fine. But as you can see, all 3 of them are running well. Looks like for the most part we're going to be able to go 2 episodes without filling up the greenhouses, and then we will have to fill them up. Which isn't bad, right? That's not bad. That doesn't mean we have to do it every single episode, which would be a little daunting if we had to do it every single episode. So speaking of that, one other thing we could do is put down another hydroponic greenhouse today, but I think 3 is sufficient for the time being. We are making a good chunk of change off of that, and I don't want to make this too easy. So I'm not going to do that. One other thing to note, I did install some items for the park. I've been talking about it, I don't know, for a handful of episodes, probably more than that, about how I need to go into Mod Hub and find some stuff for a park, you know, like play sets and swings and slides, etc. I've done that. I've got some other things as well that might potentially be something good for us to put there. One other thing I want to look at right now, because I haven't fully looked at it, be fully transparent with you, but I'm going to look at it now, is if we go into our construction menu here, and we go down to factories and productions, let's start looking at like a dairy here, right? So this one is 210,000. We don't have enough for that, I get that, but this one is probably going to be the one that makes the most sense for this type of a setup, right? We're at a park, right? I think it makes the most sense to have this kind of a dairy. We were talking about putting it potentially over here, but there's also a chance that maybe we put it, you know, maybe we put it over here. Who knows? You know, kind of like here at the front. I don't know. That would cause a big line on the entryway. We don't want that. Maybe we could put it here, though. I mean, that's always an option, right? So there's a couple options we have for that. Now, that's the base game one. I do believe, I got to find it here, but I do believe I installed another one or a similar type of production here. This one I think is a base game too. It's just a bigger base game one. I don't know if this one necessarily makes sense. Maybe it does. Maybe it does. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to think about that one, I guess, as well. But there should be another one. That's just the small ones. We don't really want the small ones. Unless it didn't fully download properly. We could go this route, too. I think there is something in here for one of these triggers where we could just make our own. I mean, that might be fun to do as well. Actually, I'm not seeing a dairy in there. So maybe I'm wrong on that statement. I thought there was. Yeah, there it is. There it is. So we could go that approach, right, where you just kind of put this up against a building and makeshift your own dairy. That's an option, but I swear I had another one as a chocolate. Maybe it was the chocolate factory is maybe what I was looking at. And that doesn't really look like what I thought. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. Here it is. This is it. The ice cream factory, which this looks just like the other one we just got, though. Or we just showed, I guess I should say. But this one's labeled more as an ice cream factory, though. And the more I'm seeing this, the more I'm thinking this little path that we put in, if we're going to put it over here, we probably want to put the path, if the way I'm looking at it right now, to the right of this, we probably want to put the path to the right of it. That way we can have like a like a maintenance entrance here for deliveries and things like that. So it stays out of the way of the park area, right? If we're going to go that approach. But that is a little bit larger than I thought it was going to be, and I don't think I have another one. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. So, that's something more that we have to think about, I guess, is how I'll put it. I think it's in decoration, I think. The things that I purchased. Well, I downloaded. Let's see if we can find them here really quick. So we've got those, which those were already here. We already showed you those. Those were already part of the base game. We've got a telephone booth, which I kind of like. I like the idea of having that over here by the parking lot somewhere, or by the entrance over here. So there's that. There's like a gazebo thing, which is kind of nice. There's one of these shade things, which I was kind of envisioning putting this near the ice cream parlor, depending on what one we put down. There's this playground thing. These are the kind of things I'm talking about. See, they're not expensive, but it is going to take us a little bit of effort to figure out how we're going to set them up, right? We still want to make sure it looks like a park, so we got to put down some grass, gravel, whatever, dirt, etc., mulch, all that stuff, whatever we can find. There's more than what I'm just showing you, though. There's a lot more. We just have to find them. I don't know, a little chapel thing. So like this bike thing, I feel like would be a pretty good thing to have in a park. I would think you would see these in a park, right? Put some bicycles in. All of that kind of stuff definitely can happen. Benches, a sandbox, absolutely that will go in. Here we go. a children's slide. This absolutely needs to go in an area somewhere. I'm not sure where, but it absolutely needs to go in. Here's the cars, which we can put those down at any point. We are going to put some of those down in the parking spots. Here you go. There's a swing or a seesaw. A couple seesaws. So there's quite a few things that I've installed here. Some of this stuff is a little old looking, but you know what? It doesn't really matter. It's in a park. Eventually it's going to get sun bathed or sun worn, right? So it's going to look like that anyway. But there you go. There's a ton of things that I've got installed now. So these are all things that are going to be incorporated at some point, one way or another, into the park. There's your soccer net kind of thing right there, right? It's not going to have a net on it, but we can at least put it up and make it, seem like, once they put the net up, that's what they would utilize. And there's basketball courts we were talking about. So quite a few options here for us, right? It's just a matter of how we're going to set this out. How we're going to lay all of this out when the time comes to do it. And really what I'm kind of envisioning, and this is my personal preference, is right here by the parking lot here, we're going to have like a section here kind of leaning up towards our little entry here. That'll be like a basketball court. And then like another one on this side. And then like the kids' play area can be like somewhere over here in this quadrant. And then, some soccer fields over here in the grass area, as I mentioned. And then over here is a lot of work's going to have to be done, like I talked about on the, if we stick with it being there, the ice cream parlor or factory or whatever it is we put down, right? That's my vision for this whole thing. We obviously have more work to do. I've got the fences and everything I talked about putting up. So there's a lot more to do that we're not quite there yet. But that's my vision anyway. Now, today's going to be the first day, I think, that we're not going to put a single thing into the park just based solely on the fact of what we just talked about. I want to save some funds, want to save some money. I really want to get another plot of land, and if we wait till the next episode, we will have enough money to do so, which I think is going to be super helpful for us. So we are going to hold off on that, and we're going to leave this episode at this point. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I would greatly appreciate it if you smash the like and subscribe button for me, on the case you have yet to do so. Both those things help me out an absolute ton. If you have any thoughts, questions, comments, or ideas, feel free to let me know down below in the comments. I'm happy to get back to you on those. I believe our oat field will be ready to harvest next month. So we're going to have some exciting things happening then. We're also going to have to lease some kind of a harvester to get that done, or buy one. But if we do that, it's going to take away from us being able to get that other field, right? So we've got to make that decision. But yeah, things are good, man. Things are good. We're making good progress. And hopefully you'll join us for the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks to my members. Cannot thank you guys enough. There's a Discord down below if you're interested in that. And we'll see you next time.